Hello everyone, welcome to today's live stream, daily drawing practice. We're going to be drawing Deepti, who shared the reference for the drawing that we did yesterday. And we've been in touch through the Museum by Sketchy app and also Instagram here at blah.art.blah. Hello, Funny Oliver, Funi, Olivier. Who else is here? I see 11 of you are here, so there must be 10 other people who could say hello in the chat. I would love you to say hello in the chat. I would love you to say whatever you feel like saying. It is International Women's Day today, and we're going to be drawing this wonderful international woman, and thank you to all women. May you all have the freedom and rights that everyone should have wherever you are, all over the world. And thank you for everything. Thanks particularly to my mum, but to all women for being you. Let's draw together. We're focusing on shadow shapes, and it's interesting. I'm going to be putting Deepti here over Akil's shoulder, kind of, and maybe getting in a bit closer. Like, I'm not going to be having that bottom arm there, but I thought it could be interesting to like wrap the composition together. Hello Kiki, Rachel, Maya, Annette, Elizabeth, June, Uta. Good evening. It is nice to have you all here. And so yeah, still thinking about shadow shapes. It's really interesting that like the entire the fabric is quite dark, even though it's like this amazing magenta color and it's bright. If we were to squint at the picture, the skin tones of the arm and the face, that's like the brightest, and otherwise it's pretty dark compared to that. So that's really interesting. Hello, the angel cat. Nice to have you here. Nice to have all of you here. Let's draw together. I'll put on a 10-minute timer and see what happens. It might be 10 plus 10. I'm gonna draw together. I'm going to use the same pen as yesterday, so they fit together. I would like these two portraits to exist together on the page, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens, like with the cloth here. I really like the forms in the cloth, and yeah, we'll see what happens. So this is my pen, and there's plenty of ink in here. This is like a reusable plunger thing. Oh, is there plenty of ink? I hope so. If not, it's fairly easy to refill. There's only this much, but we'll see if that's enough for a drawing, shall we? Hello, Luis. Buenas noches. So, Luis, your drawing yesterday of Akil was so cool. Thank you to everyone who shared your drawings on the Discord server, which there's a link to in the description, and Instagram. Saw lots of great drawings there. So let's start drawing. Is it anyone's first time here today? So we've been going through different kind of thematic ideas and ways of looking at drawing, from continuous line, pure line, and now focusing on shadow shapes to find our way around the drawing. And it's been really cool, and I've loved seeing people's work, and I'm really curious from all of you who have been drawing along regularly, and maybe you've just started. Maybe it's 7 years from now and you're watching the replay of this and have also been participating, and I would also love to hear from you, so you can leave a comment, or tomorrow. But yeah, I wonder how it's going for everyone else, because I've found it to be really interesting, having these certain kind of ways of focusing and looking at the image to find that way of find that way around, where to put things. It's the angel cat's first time. Before I'd only seen the videos. So cool. It's so nice to have you here. That's why when I saw your name come out, apart from it being an awesome name, I was like, who's this? The Angel Cat. What an excellent username. It's nice to have you here. And Laura, hello. So for those of you who I have noticed have been drawing along with the topics, everyone can do whatever they want. When you come to my drawing sessions, do what you want. Draw how you want. I will do what I want, and I'm just kind of setting the tone, and some people are following along, and I'm setting the time limit. But you can also exceed my time limit, or you can just finish before I'm finished. But yeah, I'm just really curious how it's been for people who've been trying to kind of stick to the theme, what you have experienced and discovered, if there's been anything new, or you've found any ways that have been led to insights and revelations. This is cool. Spotting things, any vertical, like usually things are never vertical or horizontal, and I'm not sure if this even is, but the angle I'm kind of looking at the reference from, there's this, the ear, because this is going to be a little tricky with the angled head, but the ear, the edge of the ear is kind of almost vertical. So that's like, oh, that's exciting to notice. And then it's kind of, but like a step to the side, it's kind of leading down to the jaw. There's also a bit of a, like where this shadow is here, beneath the earring and cheek, there's it almost kind of continues that kind of line, even though the ear is kind of concealed in shadow and hair, which is really cool. But that was just interesting to notice. So it's tricky drawing heads tilted on the side, but if we're focusing on the shapes and the way the shapes interact and stuff, that can be helpful. You can also do really helpful things like put guidelines where it's like the eye, the nose, the mouth, the chin, the hairline. There's this kind of, you get almost parallel kind of lines to put things in place. But just by trying to carefully observe the shapes that we're looking at, it can be very helpful. It won't always work out perfectly, but it can be very helpful. And I'm trying I've got the existing portrait. I've put my reference here like this. So I'm trying to fit in with yesterday's portrait. So I'm kind of taking cues from Akil from yesterday, and it kind of works a bit sometimes. So this is thing of just like looking for cues, looking for things to help you along the way. And if there's anything that's already existing, like the portrait right next to this portrait, whatever's already there can really help. And I was thinking, one of the themes that'll be coming up in a future month is going to be spontaneous composition. And what I've thought of, like that kind of like this, sometimes it's a lot more spontaneous, because I kind of had some time today to be like, how could this fit nicely together? But sometimes I'm doing it like in Zoom every Tuesday, where people would just like the next pose, and just to see like sometimes 30-second sketches up to 6 minutes, and then just how they all end up fitting together on a page is a really interesting process. So the idea of making a composition from images which are actually independent of each other, but then they like have a relationship together on the page, and that I think is really interesting. What's everyone drawing with today? So I did a whole course with this pen. Did I use this one or the Faber-Castell one? I think it was this one. So the Herlitz My Pen calligraphy pen and the Faber-Castell calligraphy pen set, they're very similar pens. And yeah, I made a zine course on calligraphy pen portraiture how long ago was that now? Like 3 years ago. But I've drawn a lot with these calligraphy pens. I like them a lot. So right now I'm kind of carefully putting things in place, like not going too bold with the broad side of the calligraphy pen. But once I've got things in place, I'm going to be able to use it to fill in a lot of value areas, which will be cool. There's the second earring here, which is an interesting light shape within the darkness. There's a little bit of like light coming through, but it's still super dark. But something behind the hair there. And then, yeah, very interesting. The negative shape between the arm and the face is mostly like really dark from the hair. June is using a Stabilo All, so I can get the black to run. Cool. Is that what's Stabilo All? Is it different to this? This is somewhat a bit permanent. These, not super permanent. Like they're not as water soluble as this, for example. This brilliant black ink that I'm using. So you can kind of like do a light ink wash over them or watercolor a little bit. Not totally permanent, but they kind of, the lines will still be there after you've brushed over it. June, you left a comment that said you'd gone for a wonderful swim yesterday. I went for a swim today. 2 of my kids are doing a swimming course at the moment. There's a thing here in Germany, they call it Seepferdchen, the seahorse accreditation certification, that once the kids can prove that they're able to stay above water and kind of take care of themselves in the water, then they get a special patch which they can have, in this case their father stitch onto their bathers, and that signifies to everyone like that kid knows how to swim, that kid has can do at least the bare minimum to stay above water, and yeah, it's exciting. So my kids, 2 of my kids are doing that course at the moment. So, and it involves lots of playing, which is nice. They're having a wonderful time. And while they do that, I get to swim. But I'm really looking forward to swimming outside. There are lakes here that one may swim in if they feel so inclined, and yeah, I really enjoy swimming outside in non-chlorinated water, since the ocean is quite far away. There's some really great lakes. There's even a creek which is very cold, which I love, and there are some places where there's enough of a that was 10 minutes. I'll put another 10-minute timer on. There is enough of a current, the water flows strong enough that it's kind of like you can swim on the same spot, and that's a pretty nice way to swim as well. There's this one place in the creek which I really enjoy, that I go to a lot. I even once saw a kingfisher there, an ice fogger, which was amazing. So Deepti has some pretty cool tattoos. It's just been nice the past few days. I like just getting to know people on Instagram, on the internet, even with the exchange of very few words. But it's a lovely side effect of looking for reference and getting to know different artists, to just see a lot of their work and see a lot of them. And Deepti also sent me an alternative reference, alternative to this one, because I was like, maybe I'm going to use this, but I'm not sure. And she sent me another one where she's got a really cool tattoo of the elven script from the One Ring, which was very cool to see. Which, that, interestingly, that the elvish script from the One Ring, it has a role in my call to adventure of meeting a great friend and being inspired to leave home, explore the world. So it was very cool to see it in your tattoo. Although I wonder about it, I was wondering about having that. It's so beautiful, but the meaning of that script on your arm, that's really interesting. So, there's a lot going on now. I'm wondering, the likeness is a bit off, but it's okay. I think it's okay. But I'm wondering, if we're thinking about shadow shapes, there's like really clearly the hair and the clothing, and then a bit within the face. Maybe with just by using the water brush, I'll be able to move some ink around to kind of get that in place. June is using that stabilo. Yes, it's a pencil. Oh, it's a pencil with very black lead, and it runs so well. Interesting. June's almost favorite thing to do is swim. And Oliver says, it's so cold, I can't go swim. The river is frozen. Where are you? Where did the rivers freeze? Where is that? That's amazing. I once in Sweden skied over a frozen river, and that was exciting. There was a couple of holes in the river where could see the water flowing through, and I think it, like in retrospect, was maybe not a very wise thing to do. I, with a fellow inexperienced Australian, were in Sweden. You're in Finland, cool. So here's my water brush. James and myself, we set out for the day with we took ourselves some snacks, and we went off cross country skiing into a snowstorm, and neither of us had skied before, and it all turned out all right. But at some point we had run out of water, and we were like, oh, let's fill snow into our bottle and it will melt, and then we can drink it. And it just didn't melt because it was so cold. And then we found this place where there was a hole in the frozen river, and I was like, oh, maybe we could get some water here. And we were just just super inexperienced, and But it was fun. We had a good time and we survived. It was good. There was one funny moment where the heaviest that the snow had been falling, and we were both standing and looking at a tree, and there was nothing. Everything was white, and there's just a little tree in the distance. Just standing there, everything white. And we're like, what do you think? Does it go downhill to that tree, or is it pretty flat? And we're like, well, maybe it goes downhill a little. and I went first, and James told me after, it looked like, because everything was white, it was just amazingly white, apart from this one shadowy tree. And I was just just kind of skiing away from it, and then I disappeared. And as I was going along, just until the moment where the tip of my skis had reached the ridge of a cliff, which was not super high, fortunately. But I don't know, it was a couple meters that I fell, but I didn't see it just drop until I got there. It was amazing. I've never experienced such a thing where just the world was white. Where I grew up, I never saw snow. One morning in my young life, there was snow that had fallen during the night once, and that was magical and wonderful. But at that time, when I was in Sweden, I had very limited experience of snow and cold. So yeah, I was thinking, how is the shadow and the skin areas? The skin areas are quite light. These are like our light shapes. So I want to keep it pretty light, but I'm able to just borrow some of the ink from the line work that I put down with the water pen, which is cool. But yeah, I want to keep it fairly light in contrast to the rest. And I like this. This is Hanamula Nostalgie paper, and it can take a bit of water. Not a lot, but a bit. What? That's a bit much. No. So there's this careful, vulnerable state where you can still move the ink around a little bit once it's done, once it's set. It's there. You can't do anything about it. You just got to move on. But that just means, now that got a bit darker than I was intending, that the rest just needs to be darker to make that still really look light, which is possible. It just means everything else needs to adjust. And now need to start thinking differently about the rest of it. But that's okay. June, you had an interesting question about how to go about shading when you're using permanent ink with a pen, and that is something I'll definitely go into it with the calligraphy pen as well. I've done quite a few pieces that I really enjoy, with just a pretty simplified hatching with the pen. I wonder. Dude, a typical young male thing to do. Yeah. Bye-bye, June. Enjoy your lunch. The angel cat you could never draw without a pencil. Really? Perhaps not yet. I was very, very dependent on my pencil. That was the second 10 minutes. And then I had a mentor who was like, you should try using a pen, because I was very dependent on being able to erase and adjust indefinitely, and it's important. Like it's there's nothing wrong with using a pencil. Pencils are great. But there was a time where I was in this mentor relationship with a very incredible artist, Rebecca Gay, and she was seeing what I was doing, and she was like, use a pen and just go straight to it. Just use ink, or use a brush and ink, but whatever you do, start doing something more permanent. And it was, I did a lot of very uncomfortable drawings, but it really taught me to be careful and commit, consider. Yeah, it's like commit to what you do and consider what you do before you do it are a couple of the really important takeaways from using ink. This is interesting. I feel like I have drawn quite a young looking face. But yeah, pencils are great, and ink is great too. Ink, generally, I've been teaching for a few years now, and I've taught a few classes with ink, and I say to people, just go straight to ink, try it. And usually, like, it's a classic thing that people are like, whoa, this is way out of my comfort zone, but it can be super beneficial. And if you can get over the part, it's helpful to have some guidance, but if you just go for it, then it's like, it can be so uncomfortable that it forces you to really learn and adapt quickly. When I say you, I mean I, my experience was that, what was I just about to say? Like you get to a point, like I would spend days and days just reworking a single drawing, and get to a point where I'm like, okay, this is a point now where I'm kind of almost happy with this drawing. But it was such a time investment and such a commitment to working on these drawings. And then Rebecca had said, if you use ink, like, you'll know within a few minutes if you're happy with your drawing or not. You don't have to keep reworking it for days. And so yeah, she gave me the nudge, and I pushed myself to commit to working with ink, and it was really a big learning experience. And then I only used ink for about 5 years. And I discovered all these different ways to work with ink, just like with direct ink or ink wash, or to start with a drawing, but then go in and ink over it. And yeah, it was really interesting, just within the set parameters and restrictions of this one very permanent medium, to just explore and get comfortable within that. And then and I seriously think it was like 5 years since I had done a pencil only piece. And then in Sketchy, so we met by the Museum by Sketchy app, Deepti, Akhil, and I. And I've taught in some of the 30 Faces, 30 Days classes, and I have an ink class on the Sketchy Art School. And then there was a pen and pencil 30 Faces, 30 Days challenge. And I was like, oh, wow, pencil. I haven't used that for 5 years. And then I did. And it was really interesting. Like, I could totally see what using ink had taught me when I came back to pencil. That I would like commit to my marks. I didn't erase as much. I still sometimes enjoy the flexibility and smudgeability that you can like soften and change things with pencil is really great. Like each media, just to use what it can do is really great. But the confidence I had gained from focusing on ink so much was really, I feel like, has been really invaluable. And I probably wouldn't have done it if at that time Rebecca hadn't have been like, you should use ink. And yeah, I'm so thankful because I had so many, like at that time, because I was still learning so much. There was so much I didn't know how to do and didn't understand and didn't know what I was looking at. And I was just super hesitant and just kept insecure, just kept changing things all the time. And it really, pushed me. So I totally get it, what you said, that I could never work straight to pen without a pencil, but I was in that position. And I have benefited so much from making ink my friend. And my work has benefited so much. Confidence in mark making and ways of looking. How's everyone doing? Greetings, Barbara. Nice to have you here. I feel like this is almost done. Almost half an hour. And maybe if I can find it, here, around the eyes, maybe I will grab the fine liner a bit. So Barbara was baking an angel food cake. Angel. Took it out of the oven, flipped it upside down, put it on a bottle, and then the whole top fell off. It's a very evocative statement. I'm not quite sure what an angel food cake is, but it was a very interesting description of a series of events which conjures up things in my mind. I'm sure it's still delicious, if that was not what was supposed to happen. What's an angel food cake? Perhaps the angel cat would know. What is angel food? What provides nourishment to an angel? Or do they just eat for the joy of it? The sensual experience. I never had it. I don't know what you're talking about. But I really appreciate that you shared that with us because it sounds very interesting what happened. You balance it on the bottle, that upside down on the bottle, right? That got me like thinking things. So by the way, everyone, if you're not already on the Discord server, please join. It is so good. I love seeing people's work there. I also love seeing on Instagram. So tag me on Instagram, and you can use the hashtag Drawing with Dylan. You can tag Deepti as well. And the Discord server is really cool. It is a cozy corner of the internet, away from the hustle and bustle and manipulation and frustration of much of the social media landscape. I do not only have bad things to say about social media, but I do very much enjoy the fact that Discord is not meta, and that there's no advertising, and it's just chilled, and people are hanging out and sharing their drawings and sharing inspiration. And that's something, some people have been sharing stuff in the inspiration chat recently. So there's a bunch of different chats on the Discord server. And it's recently started to include music and playlists and like any inspiration, whatever's inspiring you. That's it's so cool. I love that people are sharing it. So if you want to join our Discord server, wherever you are in the world, if you have access to Discord, please join. It's really cool. If you are enjoying these, like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. The Angel Cat Speaks. Angel Food Cake, from the English Angel Food Cake. And Angel Cake is an American dessert similar to sponge cake. Thank you for telling me. Oh, and Barbara says, it's light and mostly egg whites, and there is a hole in the middle. Is there just a hole in the middle of yours because it fell down over a bottle? And Barbara, yeah, I'm glad you enjoy Discord. It's really cool. I'm enjoying it a lot. So now we're at like 280 people, so it's still really cozy, and some of those people aren't even really active. So it's a cozy little place, and it's great seeing your work because you can zoom up real close, and it's so great. So join the Discord server. I feel like I'm about done. Thank you so much, Deepti. And if you're enjoying these, like and subscribe. Little Corner. Didn't I just say Little Corner of the internet? And here comes Little Corner saying amazing. Thank you so much, Little Corner, for saying amazing. And if you... Oh, here we go. There are some tattoos I neglected. What does this say? Nude. And if you would like to, you can join my Patreon. So if you enjoy this so much and have the financial means to be able to buy things and would like to support me, then you could sign up to my Patreon, where I'm uploading monthly tutorials. And there is a fresh one up there as of yesterday on Pure Line. There is also an option for like a monthly coffee, where you also get access to high resolution photos of my work. And there's also a Buy Me a Coffee website if you want to send me a one-off coffee or a few coffees. I'm very grateful for all of the coffee, and some of that coffee money has been spent on tea, and I've really been enjoying tea recently too. So thank you to everyone, whatever way you're able to be here and participate and support me, whether it's just being part of the community and drawing together, subscribing to my things and showing up here day after day. Thank you so much to those of you who do, whether you're watching the replays or here live. It's so much fun. I love having you here. I think that's it for today. Deepti and Akhil. I was kind of like not sure how this would be here, but that's how it is. So thank you to both of you. You now exist together in my sketchbook, and I'm pretty happy with how this has worked out. It's really cool. I really enjoy this big light space of the shirt here, and even though it makes no logical sense, how it then just transitions into this wonderful fabric that Deepti is wearing. I like this. I like this dark border holding this, and it's all contained and they fit together really nicely. So that was fun. Okay, I'm being educated here. Barbara says, no, the pan has a hole in it. Oh, is that one of these cake forms that's like, it's like a ring. But your cake has no top in it. I'll share a picture of the Discord server. Very cool. Liz, thank you so much. Dylan, thank you, Liz, for being here. You worked in pencil crayon. Happy with the result, which we'll share on Discord. I can't wait to see it. Little Corner, did you check out the song of Kulthum that you recommended to me? I haven't yet. I will tomorrow, and I'm so thankful that you sent it to me. Or was there the one? A couple of people have recommended songs to me. The link to the Discord isn't valid. I'm about to give you a brand new link, and it'll be valid because I'm going to give it to you right now. Thank you for telling me. I will change it in the description here. Copy link in the chat. Yeah, I believe you. These links expire after 7 days. If anyone ever finds one of these links and says it's not valid, just leave me a comment and I will send you an active link. I guess it's so that they don't live on indefinitely and then bots find them and get into the Discord server. That would be unfortunate. So that's why they expire. So I did. Someone recommended. Sorry, I've had a couple of recommendations. But if it was recommended during the stream when we drew Kulthum, I listened to it immediately after the stream. If it was Aghadan Al-Kak, I listened to that one immediately after the live stream. And someone sent me something today on Instagram, and I haven't listened to that yet. Thank you for being here. June left early and put her drawing hand emoji in the chat. So everyone who's made it this far, and this has been a long one, 42 minutes, put a drawing hand emoji in the chat, which is fun. It's fun to see all these drawing hands. And it's also everything that gets put into the chat or put into the comments is like a signal to YouTube to be like, hey, people are engaging with this. Let's share it with more people. Laura gave me a drawing hand. So yeah, every comment, every like, every share, if you share this with people, if you enjoy hanging out and sketching together, maybe some of your friends will. So yeah, the more the merrier. Whatever way you're able to be here, draw along and share this, make it as fun as it can be and grow as much as it can. Not everything's about infinite growth, of course, but I just like doing this so much, and I know many of you do, and it'll be nice to have other people join the fun. Oh, look at all those drawing ads. Thank you so much. Funny, Olivier, Louis, Lisbeth, Kiki, the angel cat. So nice to have you here for the first time in a live stream. Super nice. So yeah, hopefully that Discord server link will work, and we'll be here again tomorrow. Same time tomorrow, probably. And there's a little bit of space left over here, so I'll just show you. I've been doing these alternating between pencil and ink and these spreads. And whoop. So I've got some space here. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do here. Maybe something. I like this. It's very kind of empty in between them. There have been other pages where I've tried to like fit things in together. I really like how these two exist together here. But yeah, after the ink spread, we're going to pencil again, and then these are the Inktense pencils, and continuing on with the shadow shapes exploration. Here was the pure line from last week, and yeah, we just keep drawing and drawing and drawing until the sketchbook is full, and then see what happens. It did work. I'm so glad to hear it. Welcome to the Discord server, Angel Cat. It's not a dumb story, Barbara. It's a wonderful story. I'm glad I have some insight now into what angel cake is. And it's good. People can talk about whatever seemingly irrelevant things, but they may be, maybe someone tomorrow is going to go and bake an angel cake because of you mentioning it in the chat. And it's nice to have just something to respond to in people's conversations. So I'm happy for you to tell me whatever stories you want. So it was not an interruption. It was an important part of this live stream, talking about angel cake, and I've learned something. Thank you so much. Rachel, you're very welcome for these live streams. I'm glad you enjoy them. Okay, thanks everyone. You're the best. I hope to see you again in the chat tomorrow or some other day. And if you're still watching the replay and you've made it all the way to the end here, please leave a comment. I would love to hear from you. You could just tell me about your baking adventures or sandwiches even, anything. Any comment that you leave is welcome. Thanks everyone. Take care and sweet dreams.